We continue to preview the 2025 college volleyball season. Our stop today is Huntington, Indiana, and it is a privilege, very much a privilege, to get to visit with Coach Kelsey Herber once again, the Huntington Foresters heading into the 2025 season. Coach, always thankful to have you here on the program, and I know we're going to talk about volleyball, but I want to leave the door open for you to talk about always whatever you want to, because it's just a privilege to get to listen. Last season, though, let's start there. 2024, 15-16 overall in 24. And at one point of the year, you all were 13-9. There was a 6-game slide in October before the rest of the season wound out. So you finished 15-16 in there. Tell us a little bit about last year and maybe some ups and downs.
Yes. So that point in the season where we had this losing streak, what had happened is we had two setters on our roster, and both setters were hurt at the same time. And for anyone who understands the sport of volleyball, that's a key position. And it's a very specialized skill. So it's challenging to ask someone who hasn't had setting experience to simply hop into that position, but that's what we had to do. And so we had two defensive specialists on our team agree to step into that role for us and run a 6-2. And they did everything we could have asked of them. I'm so proud of them. I could have not asked for more from them. It was just a really challenging hump for us to get over, not having a true setter in the lineup. However, God certainly used that to grow my heart, and I know he utilized it within our team. And I can think of a time I was driving home after a game, and I said, God, I don't understand why this is happening, and I trust you. And there was a full circle moment where we were running that lineup with the two defensive specialists, no setter, and we ended up beating Grace, who was a ranked team nationally at that point in time, on our senior day. And it was so special. It was such a beautiful experience. And right away we were able to say, thank you to God for allowing us to experience that and just to work in our hearts throughout the entire season.
Well, that is special. I love hearing about the special moments. I want to ask you then, because you've said before on this channel, and by the way, I'll put the link to our previous discussion in the description, so you need to go back. Folks need to listen to Coach Herber once again. But you mentioned, among other things, that people aren't defined by volleyball. There's so much more that makes up who we are. It's the off season right now, a few months before the season opener. What is something unique to Huntington volleyball that you all do in the off season?
Yes, I think something unique that we do is we have a player-led Bible study each week. So one of my players in the past presented that idea to me of, hey, what would it look like if in our small group time that we had players start to lead some of that? The reality is they get a lot of my voice. And so I think it's always so good when they can hear another voice, and especially if that's girls on the team, because I think that's a beautiful leadership opportunity for them. And so we started doing that last year, but this spring season, once a week, they are meeting as a team to dive into God's word together, to support one another and what's going on in their lives. And they get full ownership of that space. And the things that I hear, that come from that time really warms my heart. And I'm so grateful that it's been impactful for them. But another thing that we do that's unique, I would say, is the team bonding activities that we do. We take the spring season as a time to be intentional with developing relationships and getting to step away from volleyball and workouts and training for a moment to simply enjoy each other. Because I am a firm believer that relationships off the court make a huge impact to the game itself and our performance. It's just the reality of it. And so that's another thing that we do throughout the spring season.
Absolutely. Well, I agree with you 100% on that. As you looked into 2025, you can make it through the off season. 2025, Coach, it's going to be here before you know it. The season will get underway, and you have a number of areas where you have returning players for you, and that's a big deal. It's actually a really big deal in 2025. But a couple of seniors coming back. Haley Cruz is coming back for her senior season. Mason Robrock coming back for her senior campaign as well. Tell us a little bit about what they bring to the table.
Yes. When I think of those two girls, Haley and Mason, they bring this explosiveness to their game as far as speed and vertical. They're not the tallest players on the floor, but that explosiveness they have and athleticism truly elevates their game. And we want to run a very quick tempo offense this coming season. And those two fit beautifully into that system. They like to run a fast tempo. We want to catch blocks late and be able to expose that offensively. And as seniors, both of those girls are very determined that in their last season, we do something special. We have sought to climb the ladder of this conference every single year, that I've been the head coach. There's something unique about going into this season with the personnel we have and the determination that we have. These girls know that spring season is only the preseason to our preseason for the fall. Everything we do right now is part of preparing us to try to get to that national tournament. And like I said, these girls are determined to get there. And Mason and Haley certainly help lead that, especially as senior leaders.
We're getting to visit now with Coach Kelsey Herber for the Huntington Foresters, talking some volleyball today here on Midwest Sportsnet. And I encourage you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It does mean a lot. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. If you're going to have an offense, that's explosive, it's going to have to go through that setter position. And you mentioned earlier how important that is. Lauren Ross, second team All Crossroads League last year as a junior, had better than 9 assists per set. Tell us a little bit about her. She's coming back for her junior year and maybe more from that setter position because obviously more than one can go down at a time.
Right. We learned that the hard way. And I had a conversation with Lauren Ross after season saying, hey, I just want you to be really aware that we are going to bring in multiple setters this year because we only had 2. Both had gotten injured. One was a senior. So I just made sure she knew we are going to bring more depth into that position because we don't want to run into that same problem again. And it's going to protect her physically if she has more people to divvy up some of those reps in practice. And she is phenomenal. The skill that girl has and how she combines that with such a calm court presence, I think is beautiful to have in your setter. No matter how chaotic the game is getting, whether your team just went on a 5-0 run or you're on the reverse side of that, she maintains that same calm demeanor and the way she distributes the ball with tempo and can really spread out the offense and go against the flow and seek to connect with each hitter. I'm so impressed by. And then on top of that, she's an offensive weapon as well. She scores at the net when she's in the front row and plays strong defense. I mean, setters can sometimes get this reputation for not being strong defenders. That is not the case with Lauren Ross. She plays excellent back row defense. She puts up a strong block. She's another springy player. She's not super tall, but she gets up at the net. And so I am really excited to see what she does in her upperclassmen years.
When you bring in, other setters like that, and you want to bring in quality as well, will that make an adjustment too? You said you went to the 6-2 last year because you needed to. Is that something you may do a little bit more just because this year?
Sure. I come into every season very open, and ultimately we will run whatever we think puts us in the best position to win. So one of the setters that we had come in actually at spring semester, her name's Kennedy Urban, and she's a transfer from a D2 school, and she could both play a setting position or be a defensive specialist. She is also an excellent defender. She runs a fast tempo. She's connecting quickly with our hitters. And I love that we go into the season, therefore, with options for a 5-1, a modified 5-1, a 6-2, whatever is going to put us in the best position to win. But no matter what, I know Kennedy Urban will make an impact on the floor. It's just a matter of where are we going to need her the most.
Absolutely. We've talked about the offense, by the way, Coach, some defense, and you were talking about some defensive specialists too. Among those that are coming back, Layla Meyer, she'll be a senior for you, and she averaged around 4.72 digs per set. Tell us a little bit about the defense.
I came home from practice just last night. I was telling my husband all about it. And I got to talking about Layla Meyer, and I just paused and I was trying to come up with the words. And what I landed on was, she is not human. Um, Joey, has blown me away with her defense. We made an adjustment to our defense where we basically said, Layla, we believe you are capable of covering half this court by yourself. And we're going to basically unleash you to do that. We're going to say, you are so good at reading that we're going to trust you to cover this whole area. And you have free range to roam in whatever way you need to go make a play. And I told her after practice the other day, I said, Layla, you came into this program as an outstanding player. You are the best player I've seen you ever be right now. And the fact that she has continued to grow after already starting off at such a high level is such a testament to her work ethic and her determination. She's another one of those that is determined that we accomplish our goals as a team. And so I'm so grateful to have that leadership from her in that defensive role. She has done a fantastic job, and I am thrilled to see what she does her senior year.
Well, it's going to be here before you know it, Coach. And we know the Crossroads League portion of the schedule is there. It's a tough league, and it's a tough portion to your schedule. Of course, the national champion has come from the Crossroads League for each of the last 2 years. Same team in Indiana Wesleyan, but, it's last 2 years. So, you're going to get to see them a couple of times. But prior to the Crossroads League schedule, among other things, and a lot of it's still to be determined, you have a tri-match to get things started. Tell us a little bit about the opening portion.
Yes, we are really excited to have a lot more home games to kick off our season this year. Last year, we were not home until we had our first conference game. And so we were on the road a lot. And so one thing that we are seeking to do is try to play more games at home to kick off the season, to gain some of that home court advantage, to be able to bring in more fans, and to prevent that first home match being a conference game where then you've got all those first game jitters of both conference and we're home. And so we're really excited for that. And we're going to play good competition, because you have to. If you want to be prepared for Crossroads League play, you've got to play strong competition that really challenges you so that you don't get to the Crossroads League and are shocked by the level of play that you see. So we're excited to have a strong schedule, to be home more, and to play in some really great tournaments. The Onset Invitational that St. Francis puts on, and the tournament Taylor puts on. So we're participating in these tournaments that other Crossroads League schools are putting on. We're not going to play them, but we're a part of their tournament, and they put on fantastic tournaments. So we're excited to be a part of it.
All right. Well, success to the Foresters this season. We will follow you, Coach, over the course of this year. And it's always a privilege to get to have you come on, just get to share with us not only about your team, about your faith, and just add a little wisdom in there too. So we appreciate getting to visit with you today. Coach Kelsey Herber with the Huntington Foresters, thank you for taking time with us today here on the Summit.
Thank you so much. It is always a pleasure.